Are you sure the perimeter surrounding the zone is really enough? If a powerful emission were to occur, we would...
Listen, the zone has remained stable for years. Besides, we didn't establish the most advanced institution in human history without first guaranteeing its safety. As the head of the Scientific Institute for Research of the Chernobyl area, or CIRCA for short, I believe the wonders that we will bring to the world far outweigh the potential risks.
How big are these risks exactly?
The zone reveals a whole new world. We can stick with the old one, fearing change. But tell me, do you want our descendants to remember us as cowards? Or as those who dared to venture forward to a new, better humanity?
The injured were evacuated. I remind our listeners that a similar incident happened in our region quite recently, ruining homes and livelihoods. City officials urge people to stay calm, assuring them the situation is totally under control.
You alive back there?
I'm okay.
Zone is really raging today. See that? It was a hell of a blast. Can't remember one so fierce.
Are we, close?
Kind of. The central checkpoint could be on alert after the emission, but there's another way in. Crack in the wall to the left of the fault. Bugger off! Hope you didn't lose your secret artifact along the way. If it was outside the zone for too long, it would have lost its anomalous energy. But I've got this shiny metal thing to recharge it. One lucky activation, and we have a gold mine here.
Sector 9, visual detection of the vault. I say again, Sector 9, visual detection of the vault.
Show me what you found. What the hell is this? I've seen artifacts taken from the zone before. They always burn out and fall apart real fast. But this one?
This one is not from the zone.
Oh, I bet. Where'd you find it?
In my laundry basket.
Who do you think you're talking to, huh? You have any idea what this scanner cost me? If it's not an artifact, it's gonna blow us all to hell! I won't let my hard work come to nothing because of you. I won't let you flush it down the shit.
This stone owes me a new home. We gotta move.
Get to the scientist's bunker. Nehoda will explain how to proceed with the scanner. He's waiting for you. Good luck.
Dispatching a response team. Investigate the scientist's bunker.
At the Dugal. The bunker's off. Another ground team is on the way. Sal, I still don't have any maps. Stick to the perimeter. Avoid going in. I'll contact the sphere.
I don't fight for myself, I fight for my team.
Started off small, had to let it grow.
What's this?
Hey, how's it going? Welcome back. Today we're going to be taking a look at the best settings for running Stalker 2. Yes, the brand new game. So far, I'm enjoying the game. It's a lot of fun. It's different, and that is what's making it a lot of fun. But a lot of you guys are struggling in
What's up? I'm Troubleshoot. Welcome back to another optimization guide. This one is Stalker 2. So, before we get into optimizing it, there's a couple of things that you need to know. This game does need more time to bake, and the developers are actively working on things really quickly. So, FPS and input latency are probably going to be addressed in the somewhat near future, but for now, the game is an optimization mess for the most part, and you can only squeeze so much performance out of it, especially if you have the right hardware. What do I mean by that? Well, this game at 1080p is really CPU limited. If you have a powerful graphics card like a 4080, 3080, then changing your graphics settings with a low-powered CPU isn't going to really gain you anything. You can play on the highest graphics options and the lowest, and if your CPU isn't good enough at 1080p, you're not going to gain any extra FPS. That does change at 2K and 4K, but for the most part, it's heavily CPU limited. If you're playing at 1080p and you have a 3060 Ti equivalent or lower, changing your in-game options isn't going to really gain you that much FPS, unless you have a really good CPU in most cases. That being said, I have a 3080 Ti, which is a powerful graphics card, and I have a powerful CPU as well, so changing some settings should gain me some extra FPS, especially because I'm not gaming at 1080p. Currently, with everything set all the way to the lowest possible option in-game, so DLSS quality, everything else down on low, at 2K with a 3080 Ti, I'm getting 45 FPS. That's not great, but I am running a whole bunch of stuff in the background. If I close everything, I'll probably get maybe, say, 50. Input latency is a huge issue with this game. You may notice some weird stuttering. Shooting is definitely a chore unless you have the graphics quality cranked all the way down if you're not reaching a comfortable 60 FPS. If you're at 60 and above, well, things feel a lot better. From 44 on the lowest possible settings, I'll crank it all the way up to the highest possible settings, Epic. This does require a restart for some options, but most of them do change. And performance-wise, I've only dropped to 35 FPS, 33. So that's maybe 10-ish FPS, which is, well, 20% performance loss by moving from low to epic. So that's not a huge amount. Usually in other games, much. Input latency is noticeably worse, and for that exact reason, I personally wouldn't be able to play this game on anything but the lowest possible settings for graphics here. If you're like me and you need to play this game on low, there's a couple of things I'd recommend raising. First of all, texture quality. Raising this all the way up from whatever it is to epic. If you have 6 or so gigs of VRAM, you should comfortably be able to play the game with the max FPS, and things should look a whole lot better. Well, pretty much for free. So, from 44, waiting for everything to load in, I'm still at 44, even though I've cranked my textures all the way up, meaning I've just gained some free quality with no FPS drop. For the most part, most of these settings here will have an impact on your performance. I would recommend scrolling down to Performance Boost. We have upscaling, and this is going to be super important. Changing between no upscaling, so for example DLAA, where AI is used to upscale, or none, for which I get 38, 40-ish FPS. If I push it on, say, DLSS or FSR to the performance setting here, or ultra performance, my game is going to lose a lot of visual quality, but performance-wise, we've moved up to 50-ish FPS, which is much more playable. And of course, input latency has reduced as well. For the most part, if you've already dropped all of your settings, besides texture quality, what you should play with is upscaling. DLSS and FSR aren't going to give you similar performance improvements. Essentially, when you have this turned off versus all the way to performance, you can usually expect a 30 to 50% gain in FPS. I wouldn't recommend pushing it past performance at 2K/4K, and if you're on 1080